Minister of Works inspects ongoing construction of Maraba-Keffi Expressway, promises timely completion of the project.
We have opened a corridor for economy, for movement of goods and services.
Northern governors and traditional rulers commend President Tinubu for addressing infrastructural deficits in the region. And NDLEA arrests Iran-bound woman with cocaine concealed in her private part, stomach and handbag. Hello and welcome to the News Desk at 3 on NTA News 24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. The federal government has expressed the resolve to open up all roads within the economic corridors of the country. Inspecting the ongoing construction within the Maraba-Keffi axis of the Keffi-Enugu dual carriageway, which extends to other southern parts of the country, Minister of State for Works Bello Mohammed Goronyo commended the level of work done so far, as 42% of the entire project has been completed.
The Section 3 of Lafia-Enugu dual carriageway, which is the Maraba-Keffi axis, was awarded in June 2023, and it is at 7.3 kilometers in length, both bands put together. Having been given a 30-month completion timeline, Minister of Works for State Bello Mohammed Goronyo set out for an inspection. He appears satisfied and discloses plans by the federal government to ensure that the project is completed and inaugurated.
It is going to be completed along with other projects that are ongoing across this corridor, so that at the end of June 2026, Mr. President, by the special grace of God, will come and commission this very laudable project for Nigerians. We have opened a corridor for economy, for movement of goods and services, and of course by extension reducing travel time.
A federal controller of works in the FCT, Yakubu Usman, and the project manager of the company handling the project, Ronald Leo, explained some of the challenges being experienced.
This road is heavily trafficked, so there are challenges controlling the traffic, especially in built-up areas. We collaborate with the road safety and other law enforcement agents to help in managing the traffic situation.
We're lacking of just the cash to finish this project.
As a Sukuk-funded project, the minister explains that money is already at hand and there will be no delay in payment as soon as all requirements are met regarding job certification. Kenneth Nani, NTA News.
The 19 northern governors and traditional rulers of the region have commended President Bola Tinubu for his efforts at addressing infrastructural deficits in northern Nigeria. Speaking during their joint meeting in Kaduna to deliberate on strategies for tackling other challenges facing the region, the leaders noted that the president is on the right path toward transforming the nation. Mohammed Umarajingi reports.
It is another meeting of northern decision makers comprising of the governors and traditional rulers led by the Sultan of Sokoto, who gathered here at the Government House Kaduna to assess the progress made so far and review the strategies adopted in their previous meetings to rescue their people from the grip of insecurity and poverty. The chairman of the forum, Inuwa Yaya, says some progress have been made, even though some challenges persist, that this meeting seeks to come up with fresh ideas to overcome them.
We must move beyond rhetoric to concrete actions that will take our children off the streets and provide them with quality education, vocational and professional skills. As the rainy season approaches, we must implement proactive measures to mitigate the perennial farmer-herder clash.
The leaders commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for complementing their efforts in addressing the region's challenges.
One of Mr. President's key interventions in our region is a long abundant Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano dual carriageway, Mr. President will go down in history as a leader who listened to the cries of the northern people and took decisive action. We owe Mr. President a debt of gratitude.
But the problem of the North is the problem of Nigeria, and that's why I think President is doing all he can to bring all of you together close to him to ask you how can he help. And he's helping. I believe there is hope.
As they continue to seek comprehensive and sustainable solutions individually and collectively, they call on the citizens to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the continued peace and progress of the nation. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Murajingi, NTA News.
Residents of border communities in Imeko-Afon local government area of Ogun State are commending the federal government for lifting the ban on the supply of petrol to filling stations located within 20 kilometers to the border. Lukman Adifeso reports that this is sequel to a circular by the National Security Advisor through the Controller General Nigeria Customs Service, announcing waivers for 66 filling stations located within the border communities to supply petroleum products.
Residents of border towns can now heave a sigh of relief following the partial lifting of the ban by the federal government. Federal government approved 2 filling stations in Imeko town, one each in Ilara, Ojodun and Ohunbe towns, which are already dispensing to the people.
We received the fuel on Monday, and immediately when people heard about the announcement, they were so excited.
We have to travel to Oyo to get fuel. Even to own generator, it is very difficult, but we are very grateful that the government now heard our cry.
While appreciating the federal government for the reversal of the policy, stakeholders appealed to the federal government to allow more filling stations to dispense the products.
I just want to thank the Almighty and the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for giving us that relief. Our people have been suffering for the past 7 years, and we are buying a liter for 2,000 plus. Now, everybody is down, give a sign of relief.
Even farmers, for them to use bulldozer to clear land, for them to use tractors to clear land, to make ridges, they have to go 20 kilometers before getting fuel. So now that the reverse is the case, you can see that agroeconomy business that this area is known for will be booming now.
Member representing Yewa North Imeko-Afon Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Honorable Boyega Nasir Isiaka, in a statement recalled how he facilitated the reversal of the policy on the floor of the House and his engagement with stakeholders.
The People's Democratic Party in Jigawa State has successfully elected a new set of state executives to steer the affairs of the party for the next 4 years. The Congress was conducted by the PDP National Working Committee's appointed State Congress Electoral Committee and held at the Aminu Kano Triangle in Dutse, the state capital. Awal Muhammad reports.
That was the moment the newly elected executives took their oath of office. The peaceful exercise drew a large turnout of party faithful from all the 27 local government areas of the state. Delegates were thoroughly screened by the Electoral Committee, which was mandated by the PDP National Secretariat to ensure a transparent and credible process. The chairman of the Congress Committee, Isa Ahmad, commended the orderly conduct of the delegates and urged the new executives to work collectively to strengthen the party's presence in Jigawa State.
As you can see, the election was so transparent, so successful. Everybody is happy here. The election was conducted freely and fair, and all the contestants who won the elections were declared winners. Everybody is happy with the process.
Party stalwart who spoke at the event reflected on the PDP's legacy since its inception in 1998, highlighting its contributions to Nigeria's democratic and developmental journey. They call on the new leadership to reconcile with the aggrieved members and build a united front ahead of future elections.
They are going to pass through a great job passing a great job in the sense that PDP is a great party and people still believe in this party. So they are going to revive this party for greater process, for greater future for all Nigerians.
In his acceptance speech, the newly elected state chairman Babandi Ibrahim pledged to consolidate on the achievements of his predecessors and reposition the party for greater success. All 39 executive positions were filled unopposed, with 875 accredited delegates participating in the election. In Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
Meanwhile, former Director General Voice of Nigeria, Osita Okechukwu, says the announcements by Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State adopting President Tinubu for the 2027 presidential election is significant for Igbos ahead of the polls. Okechukwu welcomed Governor Soludo's move as a strategic renewal of the Sikhists alliance of the 50s, when Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was a member of the Western House of Assembly and Malam Umaru Artin from Sokoto was elected first mayor of Enugu City and NPP alliance of the Second Republic. Commending Governor Soludo for the move, he said Igbos should neither disengage nor put all their eggs in one PDP basket. This is especially when they reside and invest in all the nooks and crannies of the country. Asked of the danger of a one-party state, Okechukwu brushed the hype aside, maintaining that the APC does not need one-party state to win in 2027. He maintains that Nigeria has over 10 political parties, uncountable tendencies, and cannot slide into a one-party system, also reckoning that there is a coalition in the making. He, however, advised the ruling APC not to rest on its euphoria of the gale of defections, as he anticipates tough electioneering campaigns in 2027. Now, desperate attempt by a woman, Ihen Siachen Miracle Obehi, who disguised herself with a hijab to export large consignments of cocaine concealed in her private parts, stomach and false bottom of her bag to Iran, has been thwarted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the Port Harcourt International Airport, Rivers State. Obehi, who was dressed in a hijab to beat security checks, was intercepted at the departure hall of the Port Harcourt Airport on Sunday, 3rd of May, while trying to board a Qatar airline flight to Iran via Doha following credible intelligence. She was found to have inserted 3 wraps of cocaine in her private parts and 2 large parcels hidden in false compartments of her handbag while she swallowed 67 pellets of the Class A drug. As a result, she was placed under excretion observation, and after 4 excretions that lasted days, she expelled the 67 wraps of the substance in her stomach. In like manner, NDLEA operatives at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, on Friday, 9th of May, intercepted a 22-year-old British national, Kampal Kazara Kofi Johannes Slipher, coming from Thailand through Doha on Qatar Airways flights with 2 suitcases loaded with 35 parcels of loud, a strong strain of cannabis weighing 37.6 kilograms. Campbell, who claimed he had twice been convicted in the UK for drug trafficking and robbery, said he was recruited in London to travel to Thailand to pick the illicit consignments and bring them to Nigeria. In Niger State, NDLEA officers acting on intelligence on Wednesday, 7th of May, intercepted a fuel truck marked ABJ 693XU and 3 other vehicles loaded with 246 bags of skunk, a strain of cannabis with a combined weight of just more than 3,000 kilograms, along the Suleja-Kaduna Road. 4 suspects were arrested with exhibits. This is a news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. Collaboration between institutions and health facilities is primarily to foster and develop a partnership that can produce skilled professionals to contribute to the growth and development of healthcare services. This was the purpose of the familiarization visits of the Vice-Chancellor, University of Abuja, to the Nisa Premier Hospital. Shehu Mohammed has more.
The University of Abuja's Vice-Chancellor visited Nisa Premier Hospital, solidifying a partnership for training and research in reproductive sciences. This collaboration with Institute of Medical Sciences Africa, a Nisa Medical Group subsidiary, aims to produce skilled professionals for Nigeria's healthcare industry.
I can assure you the future students, our university will serve Africa, because our students will be attracted from various parts of the country, because we have potentials for students to come from other countries, the European countries as well.
Producing well-trained professionals to contribute to reproductive science growth in Nigeria is a key objective.
Marriage between academia and industry is one of the things that will lift up this country and allow people to research, practice, and apply the research to industry. So this marriage is going on in the most advanced countries in the world, but it hasn't been really, it hasn't really made serious progress in Nigeria. How happy am I today that the Vice-Chancellor of a major university is stepping into a medical ground towards collaborative research.
The Vice-Chancellor toured the facility equipped with the state-of-the-art medical gadgets. In Abuja, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
The Kogi State government has reaffirmed its commitment to the security and well-being of its citizens, assuring the public that it is intensifying efforts to safeguard lives and property across the state. In a statement issued by the Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kingsley Femi-Fanwo, the government described recent flashes of insecurity threats as desperate attempts by criminal elements to disrupt the prevailing peace in the state. He maintained that such threats will not weaken the resolve of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo's administration to maintain law and order, adding that the government has already activated a range of strategic security operations, some of which cannot be publicly disclosed for operational effectiveness. Fanwo noted that the administration has continued to invest in strengthening the capacity of local vigilante networks while deepening collaboration with conventional security agencies. The Commissioner also called on media practitioners to exercise responsibility in reporting of security issues. He stressed the importance of avoiding sensationalism that could embolden criminal elements or cause unnecessary panic among the populace. In a powerful testament to healing, reconciliation and transformation, the Kogi Central Youths, KCY, have launched a major peace and empowerment initiative to honor the memories of young lives lost during the turbulent political era of the early 2000s. The event, marked by remembrance and renewed hope, highlighted how a once violent past is now shaping a purposeful future. Kogi Central was once the epicenter of political thuggery, where youths were weaponized by desperate politicians as tools of violence. Former Governor Yahaya Bello, upon assuming office, prioritized peace building in the region. His administration embarked on a deliberate campaign of reconciliation, reformation, and rehabilitation. As part of the recent KCY initiative, 114 families of those who died during the political unrest received 100,000 naira each in support, while 171 individuals, 3 from each of the 57 wards in Kogi Central, were awarded 50,000 each in recognition of their resilience and in a show of solidarity. In the empowerment segment of the events, 1 youth per ward was gifted an industrial sewing machine to foster skill acquisition and self-reliance. In addition, each local government area in Kogi Central received 1 million naira to sustain youth development initiatives. Delivering the keynote address, Alhaji Kashim Ododo, Special Advisor on Domestic Affairs to the Governor, urged youth to permanently shun political violence and embrace peace as the pathway to personal and communal development. Reacting to the developments, the State Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kingsley Femi Famwo, praised the youth of Kogi Central for turning the dark days into destiny-fulfilling moments. In other news, the Nigeria Forest and Security Service is leveraging training and intelligence building to strengthen collaboration with security agencies in securing ungoverned forested regions to enhance national security. Commander General of the service, Joshua Ushatimi, made this known at the training of intelligence, provost and surveillance departments of the service in Abuja. Olajide Bello has reports.
In the heart of the Federal Capital Territory, a new dawn stared among the rustling leaves, not from wildlife, but from a gathering of personnel. The Nigeria Forest Security Service had launched a pilot training program, one rooted not just in tactical drills, but in the quiet power of ethical leadership and effective grassroots policing.
We bring them together to further strategize on how we can collaborate effectively with the constituted authority to curb criminality within the forested region.
The Deputy Commander General, Intelligence, John Michie, describes the service as the missing link in Nigeria's security architecture.
With what has happened today and the training they have received, given to them, these people will go back home and they will be more effective and ready to serve their mother's land with the information and the knowledge they have got.
Our interaction with NFSS has really strengthened security and safety, especially around the forest and the mountainous area.
With all the achievements recorded by the service in collaboration with security agencies, the call is for presidential assent to the NFSS bill into law for full swing of its operations geared towards contributing its quota to national security. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
This is news at Newsdesk at 3 on NTA News 24. Here's a recap of our major stories. Ministry of Works inspects ongoing construction of Maraba-Kefi Expressway, promises timely completion of the project.
We have opened a corridor for economy, for movement of goods and services.
Northern governors and traditional rulers commend President Tinubu for addressing infrastructural deficits in the region. And NDLEA arrests Iran-bound woman with cocaine concealed in her private part, stomach and handbag.
This is NTA News 24.
The death has occurred of Malam Idris Dauda Suleiman. Born in 1951, Malam Idris Dauda Suleiman died in hospital after a brief illness. The deceased was a renowned scholar and expert in urban and regional planning. He was the pioneer managing director of Mogadishu Property Limited, pioneer general manager of Kasupda HOD, urban and regional planning, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, chairman Kaduna State Land Use Committee, member Presidential Technical Committee on Housing and Urban Development, and chairman FCT Land Tribunal. He is survived by 6 children, grandchildren, and other relations. He was a guest on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. And that concludes the News Desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.